What up, YouTube? This is Steven, and welcome back to another video. Alright, so you guys may or may not know, but I did a video a while ago basically saying that I would like to take a DNA test. Well, I took a DNA test, and I have received my results. However, I have not looked at them yet. I actually wanted to sort of make it a surprise, and actually I was a little nervous too. Um, for some reason, I don't know. I guess I'm a little nervous to see the results for some reason. I'm not quite sure the reason. I guess maybe because I always kind of viewed myself as like black, but now if these results come in and they say something that's not completely black, then it's like, oh, this is proof, something along those lines. And by the way, just in case you're just interested in the results, I'm going to leave, the time where I go specifically into the results, just in case you don't feel like hearing me, talk. Because there are a couple of things I, want to say before I actually get into the results. So if you're just interested in the results, I'll leave that information in the description where you can just jump to the point in the video where I start talking about my results. All right. But before I get into that, I just want to speak on a couple of things. I took this DNA test in February. And I got my results back in April. So it took about, I say more or less the full 8 weeks. I thought it would take less time, but they said that they were busy. And I was just like, because it just seemed like my results, it seemed like my DNA test wasn't moving forward at any point. It said like, oh, we received your DNA test, but it never moved to like, oh, we're analyzing your DNA test. So it took a little while to actually get these results, But I guess technically they were within the time frame that they stated. But still, I kind of was like, can I have them back a little sooner? But, that's what they advertise, right? So I can't knock them for that. So yeah, I got my results back, and wow, I haven't looked at them yet. I wanted this to be a surprise, and so I guess here we go. Wow, I don't know why. If you took these DNA this DNA test, what was your experience like? I guess for some reason I'm nervous. I don't know why. Let's see what I got popping off here. Okay, here we go. The breakdown. All right, here we go. All right. So I'm going to start with the black power, or should I say African power, because now I know what's up. All right. So my African DNA is actually a little bit more than I thought it would be, which is pretty cool. I'm like 59% African. I'm like, oh, I didn't know that. I thought it would be more so around 50%-ish, around a little, a little less. But actually it was a little more. Awesome. All right, so 59% of my DNA, traces back to Africa, So that's pretty cool. And, that breakdown goes like Nigeria, 19%, Ivory Coast, 19%, Cameroon, 19%. Oh, sorry, 11% for Cameroon. Senegal, about 5%. Africa South, about 2%. Mali, 2%. Africa North, less than 1%. Benin, Togo, 0%. Okay, so 59%, that's pretty good, That was more than I expected. So that was, that's pretty good. Asia, I have exactly 1% Asian in me. Let's see. South Asian, less than 1%. East Asian, or Asia East, and Asia South, less than 1%. One. So like I'm related to some Asian person out there. Some Asian. I got a long lost Asian relative somewhere out there. Okay. Europe, 38%. Huh. Okay. 38% European. All right. So I actually was a little hesitant to even, talk about, my European ancestry and acknowledge it. But you know what? I'm just going to, acknowledge it. So European ancestry in total is 38%. So it makes up like 38% of my, of my DNA. So that's a big chunk. That is a big chunk. I actually thought it would be a little bit more. But I guess that really just goes to speak to kind of like my family's history and like, because like I'm, debating whether or not to really go into my whole family history. But basically, the dynamics of my parents were kind of like my mom is like brown skinned and my dad is like really, really light skinned, a la, Mariah Carey or Vin Diesel, that type of a look. But seeing as I have like 38% European DNA and a lot more African DNA, it just goes to show like, my dad isn't, he actually was carrying some African DNA, I suppose. It probably didn't look like it, but he was. All right, so the breakdown of this European DNA is, okay, European Jewish, 10%. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know I was related to any European Jewish folks, you know. All right. But that's pretty cool and interesting, though. So, yeah, that was a bit surprising. So, European Jewish DNA is at like 10%. Okay. Ireland. So, it's at like 8%. So, a little bit of Irish. Great Britain is like 6%. Um, Europe West is 6%. Finland is 5%. Iberian Peninsula is about 2%, and Italy/Greece is about less than 1%. Oh, okay. All right. America. So I have 1%, indigenous American DNA, Native American DNA. So I guess, my, grandparents were telling the truth. I guess we did have, some, at least one Native American come through the family. Let's see. Native American, 1%. And they don't even list the ethnicity of Native American either. There's not like, oh, it's Cherokee or, Navajo. It's just Native American, 1%. West Asia is less than 1%. So I have less than 1% of Middle Eastern DNA, which is a little strange because on occasions I do get mistaken for like, once in a while I get mistaken for being Middle Eastern for some reason. So Middle Eastern DNA is like 1%. And they don't really go into the regions. I guess it's probably not enough DNA to really give a breakdown of any regions because it's just 1%. So yeah, it's like, my results are like it's not my results. There's a little bit of randomness to my results, just a little bit. It's just this oddball like 1%, like 1% Asian, and 1% Native American. So yeah, I'm like primarily black, and I'm like 59% African, and the other 41% mostly comes from Europe, and then like 1% from Asia, and then 1% from America, and then less than 1% from the Middle East. That is crazy. Isn't that? That's pretty cool. I'm like 59% African. I'm like, like I guess anyone seen Angel Ramirez Jordan's results? He was like 60% African, like 1 point behind him. I think the Hodge twins were like at maybe like 53, 50, around 53, 55%. But yeah, majority rules, right? So yeah, 59% African. That's so cool. You know, it's like Nigeria. It's mainly the west coast of Africa, and I guess the highest percentage is from Nigeria and the Ivory Coast as far as the African DNA. Asian DNA, I don't. It's just 1%, and it's just Southeast Asia, South Asia, and East Asia. Hmm. Um, and the same percent. European, the highest percentage I have of European DNA is European Jewish DNA. I don't know. Was there a Jewish person who came through, the family? Could be. Maybe. I don't know, primarily located in Poland, Belarus, Ukraine, Russia, Hungary, and Israel. So that's like the highest percentage of European. And then Native American, they just say Native American. They don't even go into any specifics about that. And West Asia, Middle East, they just say that. And that's like less than 1%. So yeah, isn't that like, wow, that's so awesome. Africa, that African DNA, that Africoid DNA. It's a blessing. It truly is. It is a blessing to have that much African DNA, And as well, I was kind of surprised that the oddball random 1%, like 1% Asian, 1% Native American, less than 1% Middle Eastern. Wow. And the European Jewish ancestry, that came out of left field. I didn't expect that to be in the results at it all. So yeah. So I guess that's it. I guess that's pretty much it. I kind of would like to continue on speaking, but I don't think I really have much else to talk about. But yeah, I guess I can say, like, again, I didn't expect those results. For some reason, I kind of expected more so 50-ish%. So it was a little bit, the African DNA was a little more than I expected. So that was pretty cool. That was a pleasant surprise. I actually expected the European DNA to be a little higher. The random DNA from like Asia and Native Americans was a surprise too. Like, I'm like, because I do, on my channel sometimes, like, if you go through my channel, I do talk about like a lot of like Asian pop music artists, So I guess maybe that's where it comes from. That 1% is just screaming out, that 1%. But yeah, any Asian people out there, I might be related to you somewhere down the line. Any Native American people, we might be related somewhere, But yeah, pretty awesome. What were your results like? What was your experience like? Feel free to let me know and share what, your results, how you felt about your results. And yeah, I guess that's all I have to say. But yeah, I guess that. Those results are a little strange for me. Not in a bad way though. But I guess because of the way I look, I guess I felt like the results would kind of reflect something different. But I kind of am, have more like a pleasant surprise from the results. So yeah. Definitely the African part of it. I really, really think that is awesome. So thanks a lot for watching, you guys. Feel free to comment, feel free to subscribe, feel free to give me a thumbs up. Feedback and support are extremely appreciated and extremely valued. Until the next video, adios and goodbye for now.